In our module on lean, we saw that lean is all about flow of value, customer value. We also saw an example of doctor's office visit where patient is a customer and is looking for value, time with doctor and resolution of chief complaint. Now patients don't get that value right away. They have to go through multiple steps that don't actually produce the value they are looking for. Similarly, there are always steps in any process of value creation that do not produce value, and lean tries to eliminate or minimize these steps. These steps are called non-value adding steps. So in the doctor's office visit example, the step of time with doctor is value adding step and all other steps are non-value adding steps. Pretty simple to understand. Now, this process of doctor's office visit is pretty simple, straightforward. Most of the times, value creating processes are more complex and complicated than that, and they are not well defined or understood. What to do then? Make them visible or visual so that process becomes clear, nothing can remain hidden. Toyota Production System or Lean, they stress heavily on visual management of processes. It includes mapping of processes visually and managing of processes visually. This helps us in great deal to understand the reality of process. Now the mapping of a process, value creating process visually is called value stream mapping. Like the name suggests, here we literally map the flow of customer value as it flows through the value stream end to end, from the very first step in that value creation process to the last step where the customer receives the value customer is looking for. Now wanna see a real life example of a value stream? Here you go. This is the value stream showing childbirth process. This looks busy and complicated. And isn't this just a process map? Well, agreed, it is complicated, but it is not a process map. Sure, the process steps that are mapped in order, they look like a process map. But look at the bottom. There are times under each step in this map, also in between two steps. Also look at the flows of materials and information or information related to materials shown on the map. These features are key features and unique to any value stream map. So this is how it differs from regular process map. Now compare this value stream map with your example of doctor's office visit, process map of that doctor's office visit. Isn't this much more complex and complicated? And that's why value streams are always visually mapped and visually managed. We will go into the visual management piece of it when we talk about visual management in that module. But let's look at the fundamental question before we move into the value stream mapping. We have talked about lean, value, customer value, flow of value, now value stream mapping. But the fundamental question is, what is value? What is value to the customer? Traditionally, value in the lean world is defined as whatever customer is willing to pay for. For example, in doctor's office visit, patient is willing to pay for the time with doctor and resolution of chief complaint. In the childbirth value stream, for example, customer is willing to pay for actual childbirth itself. So that's how it is defined as value from the customer's point of view, what customer is willing to pay for. Satisfaction Farm goes beyond this traditional definition of value and says value satisfies. It gives customer satisfaction. What do we mean by that? Let's go to the example of doctor's office. Per traditional definition of customer value, patient is willing to pay for time with the doctor and resolution of chief complaint, right? But now imagine if the patient is not treated well by the office staff or is not treated well by the doctor, how long would you think the patient will continue with that doctor? Right. It's beyond what customer is willing to pay for. Customer is looking for satisfaction, experience of satisfaction, and that experience matters. Take any example you want and tell us, would you continue paying for value if the value doesn't give you satisfaction? Okay, great. Now that we understand what value is, we can go to actual mapping of value stream. Caution, you will find many variations out there while mapping. Some use standard symbols, some use sticky notes, and they really stick to it. They're not flexible. They are very rigid on using these symbols or sticky notes. But beautification is not a must. Mapping of every step in this value creation process is important. So don't get stuck in the weeds of what should I use, how should it look like, should I use sticky notes or something else. Start mapping. When you map a value stream, you actually see the process where it's happening with your own eyes. So naturally, you have to go to the place where work in that particular step is taking place. This is called Gemba or Genba. Now this comes directly from the Toyota production system. It's a Japanese word that means where the work actually happens. Now, you are not supposed to rely on your memory or existing documentation or someone else's opinion of how the process happens. You must go and see for yourself.